In this video, we'll be looking at section 3.1. We're dealing with paired data and graphing. All right, this section I hope will be mostly a review for you. Graph ordered pairs. What we mean by an ordered pair is X, Y data. And this X indicates a right-left movement on the coordinate plane. And this Y represents a up-down movement. If X is positive, we move to the right. If X is negative, we'll move to the left. If Y is positive, we'll move up like you would think. If Y is negative, we would move down. Okay, for example, let's draw a quick X and Y axis. This is the X axis, this is the Y axis. Let's look at a few points. Point A, B, C, and D. Let's say A is 1, 2. B is 4, -3. C is -2, 5. And D is -4, -7. All right. X, Y, this is the right-left movement, this is the up-down. 1, 2 means right 1 up 2. Right 1 up 2, that would be about right here. That would be point A. Point A here is 1, 2. All right. Right 1 unit and up 2 units. B, 4, -3. Now we're going right 1, 2, 3, 4, down 1, 2, 3. So this point here would be right 4 down at -3. That would be point B. All right, point C, -2, 5. This time the -2 is a left movement. So left -2. And now up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This point would be C. Alright. Lastly, -4, 7. That would be left 4, down 7. Might be here. This is point D. -4, 7. -4, -7. Alright. So X is a right or left movement, Y is an up or down movement. We also refer to these fourths of the coordinate grid as quadrants. We will call this one where we have positive, positive, this is the first quadrant. And then it goes in a counterclockwise fashion. This is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, this is the fourth quadrant. I think of it as being like a C for coordinate plane. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. What we're going to have to do in this section is graph equations. We are going to be given an equation perhaps like this one. Y equals 3x. Well, this is the equation of a line. In order to graph a line, we need 2 points. So all I'm going to do is generate a couple of points using this equation. X I can let be anything. So I'm going to say, hey, let's let x be 0. Substituting 0 in place of x. 3 times 0, well, we know 3 times 0 is equal to 0. So what we have found is when x is 0, y too is 0. All right, let's look at another value like x being 1. Coming over here, we still have our equation, y equals 3x. Now substituting 1 in place of x. 3 times 1, well, 3 times 1 is 3. So what we see is when x is equal to 1, y is equal to 3. And we could take these 2 points in this same fashion and graph this and draw a line. I'm going to show a website that is going to be very helpful for you as you do your graphing. All right, so simply in search graphing calculator. All right, you'll see several. The one I suggest you use is the one that says metacalculator.com. Graphing calculator free online tool, metacalculator.com. Click on that one. All right, you'll see several different things. They have a scientific calculator that you could use and a stats calculator. We're clicking on graphing calculator. Now we have a place where we can enter in several different functions. In this top line, I'm simply coming and clicking on y. Then here's my equals, and I'm typing in 3x. And then I can simply hit graph. And it will nicely graph this equation for us. And you can see the points of interest. Here we see 0, 0. That was a point that we graphed. And here we see 1, 3. Okay. Another thing this will allow us to do is to look at the table. And here it gives us a table of x and y values. Here we see when x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is 3. So metacalculator.com will be very helpful for you on 3.1. Okay, back to our notes. Metacalculator. All right. One last thing we need to talk about are the intercepts. Draw yourself another x and y axis. Now let's draw a line that intersects both of those points, both of those axes, I should say. So here I go, draw myself a line. I'm going to label this point A. And let's say that that point A is, it's not any to the right or left, 0, and then it's up 4. You can see the point is on the y-axis, so we have some y value. We haven't moved any left or right, so the x is 0. This point right here, let's call this point B. This point is some to the left, but none up or down. Maybe it's at -6, 0. We went 6 units to the left, hence -6, but we didn't go any up or down. We have 0 there. All right. These points will help us find what are called the intercepts. The intercepts are the particular values where the line crosses over the x and y axis. X-intercept definition. The x-intercept is the x value of the point where the line intersects the x-axis. Alright, so this is my x-axis, the horizontal one. This is my y-axis, the vertical one. This point here, graphically, it's perfectly okay to call this the x-intercept. But specifically, what the x-intercept is this value here. In this case, our x-intercept is -6. It is the x value of this point where the line crosses over the x-axis. Likewise, our y-intercept here, our y-intercept is 4. It is the y value of the point where the line crosses over the y-axis. Those are the x and y intercepts. Alright, I'm now going to look at a couple of problems from our 3.1 assignment. Okay, number one just has us graphing points. I'm going to leave that to you. Number two, plotting. Okay, I'm looking at question number 3. It says, which of the following tables could produce the equation y equals 2x minus 1? This will be a great one for our calculator. I'm simply going to enter in this equation, 2x minus 1, into our grapher. So I go equations. I enter in y equals 2x subtract 1. And now I can go to table. I see when x is 0, y is -1. That makes sense. Substituting 0 in here, 2 times 0 is 0, minus 1 is -1. When x is 1, y is 1. Again, substituting 1, 2 times 1 is 2, minus 1 is 1. When x is 2, y is 3. So now I have, recalling this information, I have enough to go back and select my answer. We see 0 pairs with -1, 1 pairs with 1, and 2 pairs with 3. This table is the correct selection. Alright. Here it's asking us to graph the lines y equals 2x, y equals 2, and x equals 1. We could simply type in this into our grapher. Y equals 2x, coming to my grapher, going to equations. I will key in y equals 2x and hit graph. I see I have this line. Notice it's moving up as we go from left to right. It passes through the point 0, 0. It also passes through the point 1, 2. I can go back to here, click on line. I will put a point at 0, 0. And then I will put a point at 1, 2. There's my line. Secondly, it says graph a line y equals 2. Well, y equals 2 is a horizontal line. It's going to be a line right here through the value 2. So again, I click on the line, put a point here, and then put another point here. Every point on this line has a y value equal to 2. 0, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2. All points on this line have a y value of 2. Again, your graphing calculator can graph that for you. Equations, and I can go into this one. Y equals 2, graph. And here you see that horizontal line we just graphed. Lastly, I want to graph x equal 1. Well, this will be a vertical line. Clicking on my line, going to a value. This value is x1. Just click here. And then I want to draw any other point here will be fine. Every point on this line has the next value of 1. This is 1, 0. This is 1, 1. This is 1, 2. This is 1, 3. A vertical line has the same x value, because to get to this line, we will move to the right 1 time. All of these points feature a movement of 1 to the right, and then up and down any amount. And I can go back to my grapher, to equations, and enter in x equal 1 and hit graph. And here you see that vertical line. Alright, with that information, you should be able to knock out 3.1 in no time at all.